Hey guys, welcome back to Ebbs and Flows, where we talk about the highs and lows on and off the field. The second best looking Cook Islander in the room, Alex Glenn. What's up, baby?
What's up, my brother?
You like that one?
Yeah, I like that one, bro. I like that one. Who's the first? Joey? Not you.
Oh, there's plenty of good Cook Islanders in there, bro.
Oh, we're the good looking moldies, huh?
Bro, how are you?
I'm good, brother.
Yeah.
I'm good, man. Really, really good. Hey, life's good, man. Can't complain, bro, to be honest. I'm feeling amazing. Done some amazing things the last couple of months in terms of business, in terms of life, in terms of health. So I can't complain, bro.
Yeah. Obviously, just moved up to the Gold Coast, and you've been a fan of obviously this is home for you, and you're saying been coming up for.
You're welcome, brother.
Yeah, I was about to say thank you. You beat me to it. I asked Pete the same question just before, bro. What's the hardest part about transferring or leaving football?
I guess for me, man, like it's been an easy process. Like I kind of set myself up to a point where like I knew I was going to retire, so I retired on my terms. A lot of people don't get to do that, or players don't get to do that. So I really haven't struggled in terms of transitioning out of the game. The work that I do with the Broncos still gives me a lot of purpose. The work that I do with my business, Legacy Through Movement, gives me a lot of purpose in my community. And I've still got the flexibility to be there for my family, bro. So I guess understanding what's your purpose after footy has always been the hardest part for players, man. But I found that purpose straight away.
You say that word purpose a lot. What is your purpose?
My purpose is about giving back. Giving back to the next generation in terms of the kids in high school. Because when I was in high school, bro, like I knew I wanted to play rugby league, but I never knew what was my plan B. What else was there for me outside of footy? So trying to create those pathways for those kids in high school to understand who they are, what's their identity, what's their values, and what they want to do. That gives me purpose, man. So that hopefully they can eliminate some of the mistakes that I made and try and speed up the process and understanding what's their goals in life and what's their purpose in life. But then also too with the gym, like I get to give back to my community and educate them around the positives of why we train. And it's not around being physically well, it's the mental side of the game. There's so much more benefits outside of training and being healthy that people don't understand, bro. And that's what we try and do at Legacy.
Is that your favorite part about running the gym?
Yeah, that's why we started it. It was around creating a safe space for people to come and exercise, be themselves, be a part of a team environment. That's why my gym is not a 24-hour gym where you can just come in and lift weights by yourself. Like we train in a team environment. So understanding the importance of showing up for your mates, understanding the importance of being a good mate and being there for one another, understanding the importance of showing up for yourself and just celebrating the little wins. So we commend people that just turn up and walk through the door because they already won. You know what I mean? The hardest part is getting out of bed and showing up to the gym at 5 a.m. You
guys train early up here, man.
Yeah, we do, bro.
Yeah,
That's the Gold Coast, the Gold Coast lifestyle, to be honest. You feel inspired to get up and be active. Like if you go for a walk down the beach at 5 a.m, there will be hundreds of people doing it, and they've got their dogs and all the meat. Their dogs, their kids. Everyone's active, bro, and you can't help but feel inspired to do so.
Yeah, for sure. And you kind of have to like start getting in shape because it's like, and we get a little bit older and we come through a time where going out is how we connected as football players and as men. Yeah. But I feel like it's switched up, Like we connect through like exercise now. And the thing I love about gym, and I've trained at Legacy and it was like all time and but like you meet people that you wouldn't normally meet. And like I find that in business where like when I first got into business, I was kind of only looking for entrepreneurs that like I'd relate to. When I was in football circles, we would only hang around dudes that were doing the same sort of stuff as us. Where you go to a gym, you just meet a guy that you do weights with and you just connect with him straight away. And it pushes you into that sort of certain environment and you become friends with different types of people, which I find really interesting.
For sure, bro. And that's the cool part, right? So like it's not from an industry that we come from, whereas professional athletes, it's hard to get into that demeanor. In the gym, bro, it's everyone from all walks of life, man. Like, you're standing beside a professional athlete, you could be standing beside a chippy or a uni degree student or whatever it may be. But coming together, and trying to better yourself, trying to create the best version of yourself. That's what's beautiful about exercise. It brings all walks of life together. You can connect with one another. You can you can find out some similarities that one person has. And that's what I love, man. Our community at Legacy, bro, is so diverse, man. It's not just young, fit people, bro. We got mums, we got dads, we got grandparents in there getting it done, and I just love it, bro. I love it, because at the end of the day, they're showing up for themselves, which means it allows them to show up for their family and show up for their people as well.
That's really important, eh? Now, how do you start Legacy, bro?
So me and Jeremiah, we've known each other for over 15 years, man, through school and all that stuff, through family. Another Cook Island boy, good looking fella, bro. Good looking fella.
Am I the ugliest Cook Islander?
Don't be hard on yourself, my bro. Come on, man. We all got our strengths, bro.
Yeah, I'm just a talker, eh? Just get him with hopefully a bit of chat.
Make him laugh, bro. Strengths. We've known each other for a long time. When I first moved to the Gold Coast here, we caught up at a barbecue, and he's been in the industry for over 10 years. And I've watched the movement that he does from afar. He's been very close mates with a lot of my friends. And when the time come, when I was hanging up the boots, I actually jumped under his wing, bro, and just started training with him in the mornings. Because, again, you're trying to find your purpose, right? Going from an industry where you train every single day for footy. As a job,
yeah.
Like, I knew exercise was still going to be a big part of my life. So they were training at a gym called AMPM, which is where Legacy is now. And I started training under him, bro. And I was like, you know what? If there was someone that should have their own gym, it's you. Because you live by it. You live the standards. And you're also that positive role model within the community.
You got a mad rig too. If you don't know him.
Crazy rig, bro. And I was like, if there's an opportunity for us to start our own, I'd love to do it with you. And the opportunity came about. AMPM was sort of, AMPM started from one of our friends, Yogi, and he passed away, unfortunately, through a stunt under Bliss and Esso's video clip. And that guy is epitomized or was a role model for myself, Jerry, Dills. Like, he was just the most positive human being that inspired you. And you know those people where when you leave their presence, you feel good. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't help but feel amazing, feel good, and feel like that's the people I want to hang around.
Yeah, for sure.
So when he passed, man, it was like a piece of us left as well. So when that time came, we were like, you know what? We want to try and live and be like Yogi did every single day. Because he brought calisthenics to the Gold Coast. He created that Cali vibe down at the Burleigh Bars, down in Fifth Ave there, and his community that he had on a Sunday morning at those bars was just, bro, it was powerful, man. And so he started AMPM, which was Art of Motion, Pursuit of Movement.
Yeah, I remember him doing, I didn't know who he was, but I remember him doing a video, and he said AMPM, and he said that morning to night, but what was the
Art of Motion, Pursuit of Movement.
Yeah, that's sick, eh? Because I remember hearing that, I was like, oh, that's well thought out.
Bro, huge, man. And so his background, right, so he was a stuntman, and he just loved, doing all that Cali movement. He loved breaking the boundaries of what your body could do, man. And when you look at, his social media content, bro, it was elite. He was far beyond anyone on the Gold Coast, any influencer. Like, he wasn't an influencer, but the way he influenced his community was powerful.
Yeah.
And so he started that gym, or actually his business partner started the gym in memory of him when he passed. And so when I started training there, you could just feel like something wasn't right. You know what I mean? And so
with the current name as
just with how business was operating. And ironically, his business partner wanted out of the game, so we were like, let's take it. Let's jump on board. So we took the lease on. The business partner kept the name, which we were gutted about, but life moves on. So when we started thinking of how do we recreate or how do we live Yogi's legacy, how do we continue his legacy, that word kept popping up in every name that we came up with. So Legacy TM is actually legacy through movement, carrying on his legacy, art of motion, pursuit of movement.
Yeah.
Legacy through movement is carrying on Yogi's legacy, but also allows for my legacy, allows for Jerry's legacy, and also allows for our community's legacy to be left behind. So when we say to our members that walk through the door, it's what's your legacy that you want to leave behind in your life? You know what I mean? Because we're all about empowering each other to be the best version of themselves. So in every day and every opportunity that we get every single day, what's your legacy? What do you want to be known by? And as a good human being, as a respectful, as a good friend, you know what I mean? And it makes you think every single day, am I living up to my standards? Am I living up to my legacy? So that's how the name came about. That's how our partnership with me and Jerry came about. And our philosophy with our gym was like, there's 1,000 gyms everywhere.
There's a few up here, right?
There's heaps. Like you go 100 meters down the road, there'll be another gym, bro. You know what I mean? So what's our point of difference? And it was, our point of difference is creating that safe space for everyone to come through. I know gyms always say we're all about community, you know what I mean? But coming from you know what I mean? Yeah. Every gym's like, oh, we're community, we're all about community. But for us, man, and I'm not saying that they're not, but for us, coming from a team environment where when you play footy, you're never going to have success unless you're doing it as a team. No one player is going to bring success to the team. So I lived in this culture where I had to be a captain of a team that was so young. So I had to teach them standards, had to teach them ethics, had to teach them cultural aspects. It allowed me to use those skill sets and transition it into a community environment. And it's been the best learning that I could ever do, bro.
What's the hardest part about teaching standards to a professional NRL player to just your average punter who gets around every single day? Because like when I first started training, when I left football, like we had things ingrained in us, as from like touching lines, not skipping corners, that you never forget. Yeah. And then I remember doing stuff like that and people just like,
bro, 100,
sure. Yeah. And I used to sit there burn, but it just wasn't my place to say, I'm not going to go touch the fucking line.
Yeah, 100%, bro. There was always those black sheeps in each team, right, that will take those shortcuts. But I think for me, the biggest lesson that I learned, man, is when I jumped out of professional sports, man, I had this expectation that everyone was wired that way. So when I came to the community and just your local builder and mum and all that stuff, I had to actually take a look at myself and just be like, man, I can't have high expectations on these people. Although I demand that and I want them to push themselves, like the difference between a professional athlete and just an everyday Joe Blow is like you get paid to be that level. Whereas these guys are showing up to give back to themselves. So you got to have empathy towards these guys for showing up. And so it's been a beautiful thing though.
It's almost you celebrate effort over results, eh?
Yeah. So like for me, right, I celebrate these guys showing up every single day. It brings a smile to my face because they choose to do it. They're not paid to do it. So
they're paying you to do it.
Yeah, bro. But like it makes me see, like I'm not a trainer at our gym. I actually train with everyone, and I love that because it's the best start to my day. And seeing the results within mums, dads, and just your average Joe Blows, like one of the boys, his name's Marcel. He's a builder, bro. And he showed me his transition in the last 6 months, just recently. And it's a beautiful thing, bro, because one thing you cannot do is you can't pay hard work. You can't pay, like your biggest flex is your physique, is your health, is your body. So if you walk into a business room, you can't shortcut that. If you walk into a business room or a business meeting and you're fit, bro, and you're toned up, the people that you're either pitching or you're trying to work business with, they already know, all right, this guy's got self-discipline. This guy works hard on himself. So whatever he's going to say, I know he's not bullshitting. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's a flex in itself. And that's what
that's a good way to look at it. I've never heard that. Yeah, but
Like,
it makes so much sense.
You can't help but respect someone.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
If you're turning up to, say, a PT, you're gonna get PT with someone that's overweight. You know what I mean? You're gonna be second guessing. Does this person actually know what he's doing? That's being truthful.
Yeah.
But if you're showing up and someone's like very very fit, looks amazing, you're gonna listen to whatever they say. You're gonna do whatever they say. So it's the same thing with business. If you show up to a meeting, man, and you're looking fit, these people are going to be like, all right, he's the real deal. There's no bullshit in his life.
Yeah, 100%. Broncos, obviously one club. I talk to a lot of people on podcasts, and I hardly ever talk to people that have stayed at one club, which is like pretty crazy when you think about it, because a lot of things happen within football: injuries, form, new players come in. You were able to be a one club person. What's it like reflecting back on something like that, and for a club like the Broncos?
Yeah, it's I pride myself on that.
Because obviously there would have been times you could have left.
Very easy. Yeah. And there was a period in the 2019, bro. I went down to Penrith, and that was the first time I've ever travelled to a different club to look at the club, because I pretty much throughout the year I wasn't given. Pretty much said that I'm not going to be here next year, you know what I mean? So that was the only time where I went to another club and I met Ivan and then Greg Alexander and got to see the facilities, where I was like, man, I'm not going to be here anymore. And then they went on and started their successful journey, you know what I mean?
Could have been part of you, man.
But I look back and, I spent 14 years at the club. I'm still working with the club. I pride myself on being a one club man, because like we were saying just before, it's very rare that it happens these days. And I understand it, bro. You've got a short career in the game, so you want to make the most out of the game. But for me, when I came to the club, I idolized the Warriors and Broncos. So those were my two teams growing up. And then I watched Darren Lockyer, Corey Parker, Sammy Thaiday talk about how much they loved the club, how much the club has done for them, what's their values at the club. And I was just like, man, that's what I want to be. And so it wasn't a hard decision on myself. Yeah, I could have made more money, but the way my career panned out, the things that I achieved at the club as a Kiwi kid, I'm the only non-Australian captain to ever captain that club.
Oh, sick.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge milestone. Something I never, ever set out to do. I'm also the fourth most capped player at the Brisbane Broncos. So I overtook Alfie, overtook Greg.
That's crazy,
You know what I mean?
Holy shit.
Overtook Gordon Tallis, I overtook Wally Lewis, overtook Shane Webke, all these idols that I idolized. I was able to play more games than all of them. There was only 3 players that beat me, and that was Darren Lockyer, Corey Parker, and Sam Thaiday.
Fair enough, man.
You know what I mean? Like, those guys are just goats in my eyes. So to be up there with them and to be a captain of a club that I idolize, man, ticks all the boxes. So I'm very grateful.
You can sit at the table with those guys for the rest of your life and not feel an element of imposter syndrome. You know what I mean? I feel like I belong at this table.
100%, bro.
Which would be a cool feeling.
It's a cool feeling, man. And like this Thursday, bro, there's an opening of the captain's wall at the New Star Casino in Brisbane. Like, it's been a huge project getting done. And I look at my picture up there, like, this is up there for a long, long time. There's Wally Lewis, there's Darren Lockyer, there's Sam Thaiday, like, these legends in my eyes. And then there's this Kiwi bloke up there too, you know what I mean? It's pretty cool, bro. Pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't win a premiership, but I ticked every other box that I ever set for myself. And to do it at one club, I can hold my head high and be proud of it.
Does the premiership one hurt?
Does, bro. Absolutely, bro. It does, man. Because you train so hard to be in that point, and to have it in our grass. I still pinch myself and kick myself for saying this, because I've never been one to do it. But there was less than a minute to go. And Anthony Milford picked up the scraps. We were like 2 meters off our line, and he started running down the field. He was open, you know what I mean? And I was like, man, we've won. I looked to Kuriota, I go, we did it. For the first time in my whole career, I celebrated early. You know what I mean? And the rest is history, bro. Like Michael Morgan, he knocked the ball out of Milford's hand, and they went on and scored a try in the corner, and then we went golden point, and the rest was history. And I never forgive myself in that moment, bro. You know what I mean? I was just like, fuck.
I reckon everyone in that whole team would have a certain thing that they could relate to. Do you know what it reminds me of? You know when you drop a plate in real life and it feels like it goes in like slow motion?
Yeah.
That's what that sort of game sort of felt like. And even the last grand final the Broncos were in, that when you're defending a lead, fuck, time goes forever. When you're chasing a lead, bro, time's really short.
100%.
I can't imagine what it would have been like going through that.
Yeah, bro. It was
good
hard,
to watch.
man.
Good to watch from a casual.
Yeah, from a spectator. Yeah, man. That's
from a team
unreal.
that got knocked out. Yeah, it was mad to watch.
Yeah, yeah, bro. And like when you sit on the sideline, man, and you're watching your mates in a grand final, like you're kind of cheering them on, but at the same time, you don't want them to have one up on you. You know what I mean,
bro? 100. Yeah, that's real. That's a real chat there.
Yeah, 100%, bro. But in saying that, my best mate Antonio Winterstein was playing on that side, and he just lost his brother earlier that year to suicide.
Oh yeah.
So I look at it this way, and I'm like, you know what, things happen for a reason, and he was meant to win that game, bro. So I couldn't be more happier as a mate for him to do it for his brother and for himself, bro.
Yeah, it's one way to look at it.
But I still go to his house, and I'm like, that should have been my ring.
Here's a question: is losing grand finals a part of the Broncos' DNA now? Because
the last two GFs, the last two GFs in the last 10 years, we've lost them, bro. And I guess it's a good point. As a club, man, we need to grow from this. Like, to lose a 16-point lead, man, it's unheard of. You know what I mean? But the saying goes, man, like, you can't. The full time's not done, so the whistle goes. You know what I mean? And when you got a player like Nathan Cleary that comes out and does what he does, man, if he's on that field, man, it's not over. And how do we grow from this? You know, you look at the club this year, I think they're still trying to learn from it. We haven't had the success that we did last year. We did lose some big players in that, but we still had the spine, you know what I mean, from last year. Yeah, we can say injuries played a toll on it all, but at the same time,
you guys have had a rough run this year.
We've had a rough run. Yeah. We've had a rough run.
It is what it is, eh? Injuries
100%.
happen.
But we got to learn from it, you know what I mean? And you hear all the greats say that your biggest lessons are the ones that you never took and the ones that you never won from. So, yeah, it's a crazy dynamic, but do I believe that there's a premiership close coming home to Brisbane soon? Absolutely. You do have the team to do it.
When you look at the team now, and you were the captain of that side when they were like a lot younger, and you talked about this before, and like when Siebes and that were there, did you anticipate they'd be as good as they are? Take away this year's results, did you anticipate they were going to be this good? Because I remember Chico talking about Paddy and Payne and like how good they are, and Tones all coming through. But you saw that? I
seen it, bro. I seen it. Being a captain through the struggles, right? So if you think about it, our boys are fresh out of high school, and if you go watch high school footy, it's all about attack, right? So these boys really, like, credit to themselves. They had to learn the hard way. They had to learn what it's like to be a first grader
at Suncorp on Friday night in front of everyone.
The most ruthless, support that we got because they're passionate, and our club's always had success. I've never been to another club, so I don't know what the standards are at another club. But at the Brisbane Broncos, you always pride yourself every single year to be a top 4 team. And if you don't make a top 4, like, you consider that as a learning, bro. Like, we got to be there. That's our standard every single year. So from a fan's perspective, like, we need to be up there all the time. In those dark days where we got wooden spoon and we're at the bottom of the table, that's a new feeling for all of us, for our fans, for all of us. And when you're at a one city team at the time, like, the media attention is all on us. You know what I mean? No disrespect to the Reds or the Lions and that, but like, that's Broncos City, man. And so they expect you to be successful regardless. So trying to help these boys through the struggles on and off the field, it was a huge lesson, but it showed me that these guys are willing to work hard, because there was no faulting their efforts. They were really working hard, man. They had the most amazing talent that me looking at it going, what am I still doing here? These 18-year-old, 19-year-olds, like Payne Haas coming through, fresh out of school, he led our whole conditioning block. And it made me think, bro, what are they feeding these kids at high school? You know what I mean? Because he was huge, 120 kilos, and he was fit as hell, and he's still fit as hell. One of the best props in the game. And like, I seen their raw talent, and all it was going to take was for them to get that experience under the belt, for them to be the next dominating crew and era. And there's no surprise of, you know, the likes of Paddy, his performances consistently. Bro, he's one of the best.
I love
one of the best.
I love when he's mic'd up and they show all the footage of him. I love listening to him talk. I find that stuff so interesting,
bro. And he's just so, the best part is like, everyone raves about how good looking he is, but he's just a good human being, bro.
Yeah,
good human being. That's
he looks like that.
Yeah, bro, 100%.
Yeah.
And that's the same with Payne, bro. Like, you think about all the attention that he's got off the field. You know what I mean? For him to perform every single week and to block it out, to go through Ramadan week or month, you know what I mean? There's no one else doing that, man. And he's still one of the best props out there. He can go 80 minutes if he wants to go 80 minutes. You know, he's taken in his younger brothers into his household. He's got another baby on the way. Yet nothing gets in the way of what his job is as a Broncos player and as a leader. It's crazy, man.
I remember Benny Molina telling a story is where Payne went over to Warriors to do like a preseason week maybe with them. I think Mooks was the coach at the time, and won all the conditioning blocks with the whole NRL squad. Yeah, and like and Mooks goes like, "You got this young kid coming over, like showing all you guys up." Yeah, and it ended up being Payne,
bro. Yeah, because you think, right? So a Pacific Islander background. If you're 120, we were never leading.
Yeah,
the conditioning. We were always known to be the ones that were at the back of the pack.
Yeah,
and we
come off the bench, making impacts.
100%.
Yeah,
like short, sharp stints, powerful. But this guy just changed the dynamic, bro. And I still say it to this day. This guy's not human.
It'd be interesting if they ended up like testing him or something like that. He might have a bigger heart than everyone, or
maybe.
I don't know, bro.
Yeah,
because it doesn't make sense. He's way too big to be doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
Where does his growth? I asked Adam Reynolds this, but where do you think his growth is in his game? Because he's already top 1, 2, 3 props. Like, where does he grow? Because he's won 5 Broncos Player of the Years or some shit. He's in Origin. Yeah. How does he get better?
Yeah, that's so true, bro. Good point. I'm
what's
not sure.
What's that 1%?
Because like I think his standards are very high. So like he never lets himself take any shortcuts. The way that he takes care of his body on and off the field is elite. You know what I mean? So I guess for him, it's just always raising the bar every single year. But more so around his mentorship on taking more boys with him.
That's a big one, I think so.
I think like that's the true power that he could have, man.
Because I throw it back to Ren and I go, like I feel like with his body shape, he could be scoring like a lot more tries. And if you push him a bit, well, you know, Adam scores a lot of tries for the Warriors because he does that block shape out wide. But he goes, nah, for us, he's the one that lays the line, who sets up everyone else. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Still 4 points, isn't it?
Bro, 100%, man.
Yeah, just 100%. His name's not next to.
Yeah, and he's never been a big person that wants all the attention. He just loves going about his business, man, and just flying under the radar. But with him, bro, being that big and producing the stats, he's never going to fly under the radar.
Nah, he's just too good,
Bro, he's amazing. And he's a good human being too, bro.
What's Ezra like?
Ezra?
Yeah.
Bro, he's a character, man.
Fuck, I like him, man. He's so cool.
Just like his aura around the players, his aura on and off the field, you know, the way that he loves his fashion. He expresses himself through his fashion. We went to a mid-year ball. We were told it's a black tie event.
Oh, he had shorts on?
No sneakers. And Ezra walks in with shorts and like black shoes. And I'm just like, that's what's up.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
You know
That's
I mean?
sick. Yeah,
and even our CEO was like, that's style.
Yeah.
That's style. But who else can pull it off? You know what I mean? Apart from him or Reece Walsh.
That's
like
so
if
true,
me and you were trying to do that, then everyone would be like, hey, what's going on?
You guys, I think, like me, you, say, Geordie, were in a phase where we all started vlogging around the same time. I think you guys were ahead of the curve where you're doing fit pics and stuff like that, and you got a lot of kickback. What was that experience like? Because I feel like we see it so clearly of American sports, Australian sports. The content over there is so much sicker than what we're doing over here. Let's just bring it over here because why can't we do that?
100%.
What was that whole experience like for you?
Bro, it's I look at the sports and the athletes now, man, the content around it, and like not gonna lie, man, I'm jealous because that's the era that we all wanted to be around, man. Like, how many times have we been saying, why can't we rock up to games and wear what we want, just like the NBA do, NFL does? Because again, that's your way of expressing who you are. You know what I mean? And I do miss it, man. Me and Geordie say it all the time. Like, we were an era too soon, because the boys now, they've got Timmy Cousins at Broncos, who's doing amazing stuff. Logan Dodds at Warriors, who's doing amazing stuff around the players.
We were doing it ourselves, eh?
We had to do it ourselves, bro. We had to like walk ahead, put our cameras down, and then walk past like nothing, like the camera wasn't even there. You know what I mean? You're half acting, producing at the same time, and then editing yourself. Where these boys kind of got it easy, bro. They've got the pros doing it for them, and they're flicking it to them, and then they post it, bro. So I'm a bit envious and jealous of it, but at the same time, we could honestly say that me, you, Geordie, helped create that wave.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the way that I see it, bro. I'm like, man, yeah, we got scrutinized a lot about it, especially when we did that drip season when we were in COVID, right?
That was sick. I like that.
And we were just like rocking up to training, wearing like.
Bro, that's how I knew who Jesse Arthurs was. I was like, fuck, who's this cunt? He dresses cool.
Yeah.
It ended up being him.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. And like, again, that was because we were locked up in a bubble. We weren't allowed to go anywhere like anyone else, but we're like, man, how can we bring some excitement? So we started dressing up, walking into training, having fun with it. And then we got the wooden spoon and everyone slammed us for it because we were apparently worried too much about our outfits.
Yeah.
But I look back on it and I'm like, you know what? The media wouldn't be where it is today if we didn't start those wavelengths, if we didn't start creating those boundaries and start knocking down some walls. You know what I mean?
And I think Denon deserves like a lot of credit too, because he was like the OG in the podcast space, and like we copied it. Like I copied him
for sure.
I didn't think I was going to go full league. I just wanted to do business stuff, but it just kind of worked out. And he deserves a lot of credit, eh?
Big time, man. Big time, bro. Because he tried to, like you did too, bro. You try to create those happier stories around what the players do. You know what I mean? Instead of the negative stories that are always getting slammed in the papers and on TV, you guys were talking about the good stories that us players do outside of the game that's not marketed. You know what I mean?
A big one for me was probably Corey, because like obviously you've known him a lot longer than me, but you know he's a good dude. He just made a couple mistakes, and then like everything he done, he just came to get like bagged for it. So when we started vlogging, you're seen as like dynamic shift, and people started to like him because they actually got to understand him, bro.
For sure.
And that was like that like interviewed Izzy Folau in this room couple of weeks ago, and that was someone I always wanted to interview because I like, fuck, Izzy Folau, like, even though he's I think a year younger than us, I was like, fuck, he's the man. And like, I don't have the same religious beliefs as him, but I appreciated him as a man to stand in his values for so strong that he potentially lost everything, but he understood his truth as a man. So I thought that was fucking cool about him. And all the message I've been getting from that podcast, I was like, oh, like he's different than what I thought he was.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. And that's, I think as when you're a spectator watching, right, you have all these kids idolize these people, but they got to understand that we're only human beings. We're not taught in high school, or we don't do a college degree before we become a professional athlete on what it's like to be a role model. You know what I mean? We got to kind of learn as we go through life. So we do make mistakes.
Do you reckon football players should be role models?
Oh, me personally, I do.
Yep.
Because it's not easy to get to where they are. But at the same time, we got to be less judgmental on the boys. You know what I mean? Because they're human beings. They can make mistakes just like every other human being can. But the difference is when we make a mistake, it's everywhere. And everyone has an opinion on it. You know what I mean? And it can affect your mental state. But at the same time, you know what I mean? These boys are trying to learn. So I do see them as big role models. When I was still playing, you know, I tried to educate the boys around win, lose or draw at a game. We always go and thank our fans because they're paying their cold hard cash or hard earned cash to show up for the boys. You know what I mean? And show their support. And they've stuck, whether we were getting beaten by 50 points, they stayed till the end. So the least we can do yeah, we're hurting, let's go around and shake their hands and show your appreciation.
I see Reece Walsh do that. Like, I think who pumped us recently? Titans.
Titans.
Man. Yeah. And I remember like him being down and like he looked hurt, and then he got up and just like,
yeah.
And I respected that.
Because that
stood out to me.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Because that's the 1% that we tend to forget as athletes, regardless of the points or how you finished. We still got to show our respects to these guys, because we know through COVID, our game isn't a game without the spectators, bro. So if they're not filling up the seats, you know what I mean, it becomes a boring game. When we had no spectators in that stadium, it sucked, man.
The old glorified opposition.
Oh, bro, not the fake ambience in the sound, but yeah, 100%. Like, without our spectators, there is no rugby league out there, man.
Yeah, so true, eh? I feel like we do start to take it for granted, because I look at crowds now, like Brookie's always filled up, Mount Smart's always filled up.
Yeah.
Like, I think the game's heading in the right direction, bro. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, 100%. Bro.
The growth of the game in terms of us being Polynesian boys, and predominantly we've got, I don't know what the percentage breakdown of NRL players now. What's it like seeing that type of growth within the game? Yeah, bro, it's a beautiful thing, man. I think, we, as Pacific Islanders, sport has always been something that we understood, you know what I mean? And when we come from cultural backgrounds where we're always being told to be humble and be respectful, it actually can work in a negative form in terms of us chasing our dreams if it's not sport, you know what I mean? For sure.
Sport's always been an avenue for us to feed our family, to make a living out of ourselves. So to see it growing, it's amazing. But I get more pride out of seeing our Pacifica youth following their dreams outside of sport, man. I'm working in high schools now. I've been working with the Broncos with our Pacifica multicultural leadership program, and seeing these kids breaking down the barriers that we never did, and going, you know what, I actually just want to be a doctor. I actually just want to be a lawyer, but my parents pushed me into sports because that's our avenue, and that's always been Pacific culture.
Yeah, but you're 6'4" and
100%. You know what I mean? Some just want to be a singer, man, and a lot of us have amazing voices. A lot of Cook Islanders have amazing voices, but seeing the growth within Pacific culture as a dynamic and everything, I think it's beautiful, bro.
Yeah,
beautiful, and I'm all for it.
One thing I was talking about with Izzy was like we felt like two parts, money and management, so player management, because like you said, the great part about being a Pacific Islander is you're humble, but then sometimes you don't feel like you belong in certain rooms. And certain rooms that I talk about are business, when guys are in suits, when there's contracts getting exchanged, when we don't understand contracts, when we don't understand lawyers. I think that's going to be the next evolution of, like you talked about, being business savvy and being a player now. I think there's guys that are just going to break that down so much, so the next guys can learn. I think Artie's probably the guy who should lead it because he cares about it enough.
Right. He's like, him more on a personal level than me, but like I watch from afar, man, what he does, and the barriers that he's already been breaking down. That's a role model. You know what I mean? That's a role model. When you talk about role models, like he epitomizes it from a player's point of view, from a person, as a human being, and then also from a business point of view in terms of monetizing your personal branding. You know what I mean? He's done it all.
I think one thing I like about both you boys is like being a good partner and husband first, and like even though playing for the Broncos and captain them is fucking sick, and Kiwis blah blah blah, and playing for the All Blacks is like the dream.
Yeah, oh bro, 100.
Yeah, but he and he's a man of faith too. He goes faith, family. That's what they put first, and that's the foundation of everything else that is built. And someone who's predominantly been single most of his life, like I look at that, I'm like, fuck, that's cool. You know what I mean?
Bro, 100%. Well, I guess a cool message for anyone that's listening to this, or the youth coming through, is like, in order for you to be the best version of yourself, you got to understand what's your values, who you are as a person.
How does like someone who's never understood like the values factor before, like how do they do that?
Yeah. Well, for me, it was like, because I didn't know what values were. Like I got taught to be always respectful and humble, and empathetic of everyone else, but I didn't know that was values. You know what I mean? So I guess you need to take time out to yourself and distance yourself from everyone, and connect with oneself, whether it means going out to nature, whether it means, sitting down, reading a book, or distancing yourself from social media and all that, you need to connect and jot down what makes you happy. How I came up with mine was every time I walk out my house, how am I going to represent myself and my family? You know what I mean? So that whenever I leave someone's presence, are they going to say these 3 things about me? And if they do, then I'm doing my job. If they're not, then man, I need to reshuffle what my values are.
Me and Quato talked about you the other day, and I was like, "Fuck, it's mad hanging around Lexi. He goes, bro, he's just got the best energy. When you, and he literally,
Thanks,
he literally said, bro, when you leave, like you feel better."
Thank you,
Yeah,
bro.
so
That's great.
fuck,
Gave me goosebumps.
Fuck, gave me goosebumps
remember
too.
when I was saying, like, I try and live a bit of Yogi within myself, man. I just said that about him.
Yeah.
And you guys saying that about me, that's crazy. Thank you, G.
That was
Thank
sick,
you.
bro. Straight into a coffee, then back talking about girls with Quaid.
But that's what, for me, bro, that gives me purpose. You know what I mean? Because it's about me trying to give back to others. And if it means just being good energy, man, that's giving back, bro.
I feel like people say certain stuff about me and they're like, oh, that's just the way it is. I feel like that's you, because I remember when we were like under 20s and like I remember you guys beating us in the semi-finals. I remember how rattled I was, and me and you were getting drug tested straight after. And bro, you're always super polite, and like then we seen you after, and I remember you being at the Titans game, but you had Warriors kit on, like you've always been that type of guy. Maybe that's just your gift, bro.
Yeah, thank you, bro. I think, bro, honestly, it's my upbringing. Like my upbringing back in Beach Haven is like the greatest gift that could have ever blessed me, man. You know what I mean? Like I come from a rough neighborhood where we were surrounded by gang, drugs, alcohol, you know, all that. But it helped define who I was, bro. It never ever let my circumstances or my surroundings dictate who I was as a person. We were always taught to be respectful, be humble, never forget where you come from. All right, and always put others first, man. And that was drilled into us from a young age. We come from a big family, so like we understand that sharing's in our nature. You know what I mean? We're not a single child like Corey Norman, bro, that just expects everything to come to them, man. Like you got to understand that, you know, you got to help each other. You got to be the best for each other. You got to be a support person for someone. And I always pride myself on that. Never ever let a title or the person who I was, being a public figure, put me above anyone else, because we're all human beings. And I still pride myself to that today, bro. Like we're all equal, man. And doesn't matter if I got more exciting stories than you, bro. Like you still got a value in this world, and you still got an essence and a presence in this world, bro. So I'm no different to anyone else.
Yeah, everyone's got a gift, and we can learn from everyone too.
Oh, hell yeah, man. That's the way you got to see it, bro.
For sure.
Yeah. Like attracts like, energy attracts energy, bro. And if you can be a positive role model for people out there, you never know what they're going through. Bro. The world we live in is hard, bro. You know what I mean? And the cost of living is hard, bro. So if you're that person that makes someone happy, man, you're doing something amazing.
Yeah, I find that with like my content, like there's times I feel like a little bit like lost, where I'm like, fuck, like why am I even doing this? And you know, because it takes a lot of time, effort, energy, and you put yourself out there and you're going to get criticized and like, fuck, people are bagging you. But then every time I'm just about to quit, someone will DM and like, oh, that tiny piece of content changed how I was feeling about my day or my purpose in life. So nah, it's been cool. I think it's weird when you put it like that. I was like, it makes me think about myself a little bit more and more thoughtfully, bro. Like, you know, when you walk outside and you're like, what do I want my thing to be today? Or when I come back home, how I represent my family. Like, I don't really think like that. But it's good to hear you think like that, because it makes me think like that now. Yeah,
bro, for sure, man. And like, you got to give yourself credit, man. Like, you changed the dynamic in terms of footy players correlating with business, right? You were one of the first to do it. So like, I got to commend you for that, because that helped open my eyes to possibilities I can create outside of footy, and also Jordan's eyes as well. So, like, you paved the way for a lot of us, bro. I guess one thing that you can learn about, and you just said it, man, is just always think of your values. Understand what your 3 core values, because it doesn't matter where you go or what you do, there's going to be haters out there. There's going to be people that have their opinions over you, good, bad, or whatever. But if you're living by your standards, if you're living by your 3 core values, it doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what you do, because at the end of the day, you're being true to who you are, and like attracts like. So if you continue doing what you're doing, your circle may get smaller. It will get smaller, actually. But the ones that are going to be around you are genuine people that believe in you and support what you do. They're not just looking for that clout.
I done this online seminar one time, and it was about values. And they said the quickest way to determine your values is where you spend your most time and where you spend your most money. So they go, even look for your credit card. So like if you're like, say, I want to be healthy, but your credit card saying KFC, like McDonald's, partying, you're going out partying. If you're spending your time and money there, that's not where your true values are. Your true values might be at that time having fun and doing it, but don't expect the results if you're moving in that direction.
Hard out, bro.
So I was like, oh, that's an interesting way. It's an easy way to figure it out.
It is an easy way to figure out, bro. Yeah. And I guess another key message around values in that if you don't know your values, that's fine. You know what I mean? There's not a time or a time slot where you're like, you need to be 18 and have to nail all these things, man. Like, it might come on later on. You know what I mean? My purpose in life, I didn't know what it was until I got older and wiser. You know what I mean? So don't be disheartened on yourself if you don't know who you are or what your identity is or your value ship, bro.
It's okay to change too, eh? Because I remember when Hainsey was like flipping careers and everyone's like, oh, he's just a dreamer. Nothing wrong with being a dreamer. Because when I left football and we all picked up cameras around the same time and I love photography, I was like, fuck, I just want to go make $10,000 a month and go do some wedding photography or some shit like that.
Shoot on auto.
Because that's what, like, basically what Geordie's doing now. Like, that was my dream to start off with. And then I started making videos and vlogs, and then we moved into clothing. I was like, oh, I'd rather just pay someone to do it. But I like the end product of being in content and seeing an idea get to that point. But I don't really want to be the one doing it because it's fucking a lot of pressure, a lot of time.
100%, bro. 100%.
Like shooting weddings, bro. Imagine that.
And man, I don't know. Like, credit to Geordie and what he does, man. Like, he just got back from Paris shooting content with Patty Mills. Like, he was over in Miami. Like, I've always been a big believer of him, bro. And
because I remember one thing, and I've always enjoyed reading, and I love words in every format, like listening to him, reading and blah, blah, blah. And he was one of the first guys that he started writing blogs. And back in the day, and he gave you a big rap in there because you supported him through his knees, but he's always been like a little bit forward thinking as well.
Hard, bro. Like, he's always been ahead of the game. But again, like, he's always had a strong presence about who he is and what he stands for. You know what I mean? He's never been, as we used to say, a sheep that just follows. You know what I mean? He likes to go against the grain, bro, and create those pathways. And he's stuck at it, man. Like, I've seen it firsthand, the hard work that he's done and put into it and the sleepless nights, bro. Like, he was doing, like, full days where he wouldn't sleep, man. But then he's still been a great dad and a great partner for Jess, you know what I mean? It's hard work, bro. But everyone looks at it and go, how good's Geordie going to the Olympics and that? But you forget the hard process. It's like starting a business, man. You forget the hard process that everyone's slogged out to get to where they are, bro. So I'm proud of him, man. I've always been a big believer of supporting your mates and what they do, bro, and gassing them up because they deserve it, bro.
Was it hard when you guys went into two separate gyms?
Nah,
easy.
Nah, bro.
That's
easy.
the sign of
like,
good friendship.
Everyone's like, oh, is it weird that, like, Geordie's doing a gym? I'm like, bro, at the end of the day, right? He's giving back to his community. I'm giving back to my community. If we're helping more people, that's
if you combine
benefiting
the
everyone,
together,
bro.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So it's not me against him at all. No way. I want to see his gym be very successful.
Oh, I guess it'd be like me and Quaid starting clothes, eh?
100%, bro.
Like,
it's the same thing.
It's the same shit,
bro. Like, it's not like your merch against his merch, man. It's just like everyone's got their own way of expressing. Everyone's got their own way of trying to give back to the community, man. And I'm never against my mates, bro. I want to see everyone win.
What's the hardest part about being in business?
Not knowing what you're doing, bro. You know what I mean? Not knowing what you're doing, bro. Oh,
do you reckon that's a blessing in disguise? Because I think if I knew everything that I'd gone through right now and someone told me this at the start of the journey, I'm not too sure if I would have taken it, eh?
Bro, 100%. Yeah. I definitely see it as a blessing.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, bro. Far, man. Like, I didn't know what I was jumping into.
Yeah.
I understood people. I seen an opportunity, and me and Jerry were like, you know what do we have to lose? We had good mentors around us, and I feel like if you've got that support around you, in terms of like CEOs, great lawyers, great finance advisors around you, you really can't lose, bro. Being successful is you will know this too, is like understanding that not everything's perfect, bro. It's not going to go smoothly. It's about learning from those, and then just continue to swallow that ego pill and just be like, you know what, we stuffed up. Let's keep moving forward, learn from it, bro. So
I always say entrepreneurship's like swimming. Like there's days where you're floating on top of the water, sun's hitting your face, and other days you feel like drowning, but you love the water just enough to jump back in the next day.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's a beautiful thing, G. And I think that's life in itself. Everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, but no one's willing to put in those hard hours. They want to see the success, but they don't want to come through the trenches to get there, bro. You know what I mean?
It's like skipping a preseason and rocking up round one, eh?
Bro, 100%.
Just hoping you're going to go right.
100%. Like, I'll keep it real, man. Like, my gym's been very good for the last 2 years. We've been operating for 2 years, man. I've barely taken a cent out of it. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, bro, you live this good life, man. You must be on a good pay packet. Bro, there's times where, like, my family is struggling in terms of, like, am I going to keep this roof over my head? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we keep going, bro. We keep learning, because I know you keep doing what you're doing. You stay true to your values, and you never give up, bro. The fruits are going to fall from the tree.
Eventually,
and the manifestation that I put in what my life is for my family, it's going to come. But I'm not looking for it tomorrow. I know it's a long game.
How'd you learn about network? Because I feel like you're very early on it. Because when we first come through, like networking and doing that stuff was frowned upon, or like social media was frowned upon. I feel like you're a bit ahead of the game in that sense. Who'd you learn that from?
We did a business course when we were coming through the ranks. It was myself, Jordan Kahu, Jack Reed, Matt Gillette, like a lot of the younger boys coming through. And she taught us the power of personal branding. And then when she said that, I started watching Corey Parker, Darren Lockyer, Sammy Thaiday. When we went to big events, like, say, season launch, end of the year presentations and that, us boys, poly boys used to stick together in the corner, you know what I mean, and mingle and that. And we never ever seen those blokes because they were networking. And so I sat down with those, predominantly Corey Parker. I sat down with him and I was like, bro, what do you do like in these events? And he goes, man, I go out and meet people. I was like, how do you know how to make small talk with someone you don't know? And so he tucked me under the wing and took me around the next event, and I just watched and I listened. I was a sponge, bro.
How do you make small talk of? Because I hate networking.
Well, what he said to me, right? He said, as a Brisbane Broncos player, all these people in the room are there because they want to meet you. They love you as a player and what you do out on the field. So you being nervous, like they're more nervous to meet you than you are them. Yeah. So if you address that elephant in the room, like, you should be asking them the questions because they just want to spill everything. Those people that are predominantly in that room are very successful people, especially at the Broncos. Our network is huge. And so, like, he'll go in there, he'll introduce themselves, and they'll always start off like, I'm a huge fan. There's your foot in the door. So then you ask, what do you do for business? What's your business that you run? And then they start talking about their business. And while you're talking about it, you start to think, all right, how they operate the business is exactly as players, how we operate when we turn up to work every single day. There's standards, right? There's a cultural aspect, but there's also a standard from a physical and a team point of view. And so I always try to develop good relationships with everyone that I met, because you never know later on down the track when you might need them. Like, you're meeting builders, you're meeting people that, are into stocks, people that are real estate agents and stuff. And so if you leave a good impression on them, when you reach out to them, what are they going to do? They're going to help you because you showed them the respect from the start. So creating those relationships, like, I didn't go into always thinking, what can I get from them?
Yeah, it's a big one, eh?
Yeah, I didn't go into that. I was just like, who can I meet? That's going to be cool. You know what I mean? So, I just pride myself on going out there, meeting people, understanding what they do, and their love for sport and all that stuff. And then later on down that track, constantly touching base with them here and there. It didn't have to be every week. It might be once, twice a month, checking in. How's it going? Because you'll always get a card. You know what I mean? Here's my card. If ever you need anything, give me a call. And so just keeping those relationships close, bro. A small message of like, hey, bro, hope you're doing well. Just want to touch base. Haven't spoken to you in a while. Can go a long way, bro.
Bro, that's huge. Because I think when people would do it to me, and I'm like, and I understand networking a little bit and understand like psychology and shit like that, basic psychology. But like I feel whenever people do that to me, I always like, oh, I want to help this person. Like, I don't know where they are in life and now, but I'll go out of my way to help that person who puts in effort.
Yeah, because that's right. As human beings, we look for validation, right, in life. And so if someone's sending you a message or email, or whatever it may be, just being genuine, like, it makes you feel good, right? So you're like, bro,
you want to help good people, eh? Yeah.
Bro, this guy's a genuine dude, man. He's checking in on me when he didn't have to, and I haven't spoken to him in months. I'm like, bro, if he calls me and he needs something, I'm there. I'm gonna do that for him.
That's
bro.
I think even now that like there wouldn't be many players doing that.
Nah, and that's understandable because you're at you're like at the tip of the iceberg, right?
Got ya.
So like you're getting all these people wanting your time that it's hard to justify who's the genuine ones.
Okay, here's a good question. Say you are Reece Walsh right now. You want to start networking. How would you do it?
Well, exactly like I said. Any events that we're at, like I'm going out of my way to introduce myself, even though everyone in the world knows who he is. Yeah, I'm introducing myself like no one's heard of me. You know what I mean? And then I'm showing interest in them because it's not about you. You know what I mean?
Because they already know you.
Everyone knows you, bro. But when you show genuine interest in someone else, it gives off that aura like, man, this guy cares about me. Even though he's the pinnacle, he's like the Tom Brady of rugby league. You know what I mean? He's showing interest in my work. So that shows a lot about who you are as a person. Now, Reece Walsh has got the biggest following in rugby league. People in England know who the Brisbane Broncos are because of Reece Walsh, but they love soccer. You know what I mean? So this guy can seriously monetize the whole world, bro, through his network. But it's literally bringing yourself down and going, you know what? I'm going to go out there and introduce myself like I'm no one. Bro, it will get you along places, man. And that actually helped me transition out of the game.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, that makes sense.
Because those people that were always there for me as Alex Glenn, the Brisbane Broncos player, are still there for me as Alex Glenn. That's not the professional athlete that's on TV. You know what I mean?
This is just a random train of thought. And I was just thinking about this because we've got like a mutual friend back in the day. But like the amount of times I see football players put amount of, let's just call it marketing, into pursuing girls or getting girls interested in them. If they position that type of energy and just move it towards networking or business, it's basically the same game, isn't it, bro? Yeah.
Exact same game. Like, whereas I feel like if you're chasing girls, it's easier for the boys because they're on TV. If you're good looking, the boys get haircuts every week, you know what I mean? So they're taking pride in how they look.
It's marketing.
All right, that's marketing.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing with business, bro. You know what I mean? You gotta correlate it and just be like, all right, my personal brand, okay, if I'm good off the field, I'm not in the papers for the negative stories, businesses want to work with you.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I think at Reece too, like him being a dad and his daughter being very cute, bro. Man, all that sort of stuff.
For sure.
I listened to one time where Magic Johnson back in the 80s, he was playing basketball and he looked around all the floor seats and he went to the Lakers management and he goes like, who are all these people? And then basically after that he goes, get the 10 most successful people. I want to take them out for dinner. So and this is like in the 80s. So when I think about Reece Walsh now, and when I ask you that question, this is the one that come to my mind is like, who's the 10 big dogs like in the marketing department at the Broncos? Let me organise a dinner. I'll take them out for snitties, and you'll spend $300 on schnitzels and a few beers. But imagine a network from that.
Short investment and a long term.
And you get them all together. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, bro. Like, that's a smart way to think of it. Like, if any of the boys are watching us, that's what they should be doing, bro. You know what I mean?
Golf's a big one, bro.
Yeah, bro. And it's the exact same with sponsorship teams. You know what I mean? Brisbane Broncos is the biggest sporting brand in the country.
Are they?
Yeah,
sick.
Biggest brand in the country, bro. So you think of all the brands like Asics, Kia, like all these guys, right? Big global brands. The time that you get to spend with them on these sponsorships can look after you long term, bro. You know what I mean? So like you were saying, inviting them to come out to dinner, shouting them, it's something small for the boys, but it could turn into a huge avenue for yourself post footy. You know what I mean?
Fuck yeah.
Fuck,
this shit's getting me excited,
bro. That's the cool thing about it, man. That's what I love about it, bro.
Yeah, 100.
as a player, I think the best part, right, is the impact that you can have on someone else's life for something small. And what I mean by that is like, you see these kids always asking for a photo, and that it takes you 2 seconds to take a photo. That kid will remember that memory for the rest of his life.
I remember my first NRL players I took photos with. Henry Fafili.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, he's a man. Yeah.
Cut the coconut.
Bro, and he had, I remember this so clearly, bro, but he had like on a baby blue zipper hoodie, and it had Fafili embroidered across the front.
Right.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck, he's cool.
See,
I remember that so clearly,
bro. You remember that. And that's, as a player, that's the mentality that you got to have, man. There can be days where you're tired, exhausted, hating the world because of all this negative media going on and that. But at the end of the day, man, the time that you give to these people, whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 10 minutes, they're going to remember it for life. So going back to my values, what are they going to say about you? Is it your 3 core values? If not, then you got to reshuffle it, bro.
Yeah, that's huge, eh? Yeah, and I used to say this to the boys, man. Like, if you spend like 10 minutes on a day, instead of like flicking through your DM, just going like ha 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 down all the comments. Like, I remember guys I look up to, like someone like Gary Vee, who's like my comments, and I've got to DM him and get to know him a little bit over the years. But fuck, I'm like 35 and still get excited about that shit. Yeah,
100, bro.
Nah, it is cool.
It is cool, man. It is cool when you see people's excitement, bro. Like, even me watching from afar now, and you see Steph Curry do the things that he does with fans.
Oh, he does it the best, bro.
He's the man. But then even Shaq, you know how Shaq goes to shops and he buys kids bikes and all that stuff. I get a massive high off that, bro. You know what I mean? Because that's the greatest gift that you can give anyone when you're in a spotlight like that. You know what I mean? Giving kids the time or your presence, or even when you see the players handing out boots, bro. I kind of miss that. You know what I mean? I miss having that power to do it.
Because you always looked excited when you ran out on Suncorp. Like,
bro, it's the best feeling, G. It's the best feeling.
I don't know why I said that. It makes sense.
Yeah, like you think, I say it to the fans all the time. I'm grateful that I got to play at Suncorp, like, more than anyone else, because it is the greatest stadium in the world, bro. Bro, huge. Fire, and like, I played at Old Trafford. I played, at very iconic stadiums in the world. And nothing ever compares to Suncorp, bro. It is the greatest feeling in the world. So as an ex-player, you do miss that.
Yep.
Willie Mason said it the best, bro. We don't miss playing footy. You miss the adrenaline rush that it gives you, and that feeling when you run out or you win the game. You know what I mean? That 20 minutes when you're celebrating and singing a song, that's the feeling you miss.
Yeah, fucking oath. That makes so much sense.
It hit home, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
That is so true.
Yeah, making 40 tackles.
Oh, bro. Waking up the next morning, trying to jump out of bed, and you're like, and then you got to get up and go running again. You don't miss that. But you miss that adrenaline rush that it gives you when it's game day and you're running out there.
Random question. Do you think Gordon Tallis is good for the Broncos? Because I feel like he says a lot online, eh? I used to be a New South Wales fan, and obviously I switched over to Queensland because all my mates are Queenslanders and just better people, nicer people. Mine move Kiwis. But then he's just always online saying some wild shit about you boys. In my mind, I don't think, and I reckon I say this about the Parramatta old boys too, I don't think they want the new crew to be as successful because it takes away from their legacy.
Yeah, true. I never thought about it, bro.
I reckon Parramatta old heads, they're all like that.
Yeah.
Me and Corey used to say it all the time. Yeah, really? But like I know he's paid to be outspoken, and that's what keeps him in media. But like, do you think he's good for the Broncos?
Bro, me personally, if I look at the Broncos and back rowers, because I was a back rower, Gordy's always high up in there. So like, whenever I see him, doesn't matter what he says or anything, I always give him massive respects because he paved the way for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's an old head that just was tough as hell, bro. So like, if as a club, man, if you're getting a legend like that coming into the club, man, I think it's huge. Regardless of what he says, everyone, like we were saying before, everyone's got their own opinion. They've got the freedom of speech, bro. Whether he's getting paid to do it or not, I don't know, but.
Do you reckon there's a bias towards like protecting his mate Kivy? Because I'm sure if we jumped online and people talking shit about our mates, we'd lean into that bias too. Yeah,
well, that's what we used to do with Normie, right?
Yeah, maybe that's just what it is, eh? And I'm probably reading too much into it because I'm mates with Ren, and I see him bagging Ren. I'm like, fuck, like Ren hasn't even played.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And that's the sad thing about our sport, is like when it's not going their way. You know what I mean? Everyone's quick to throw them to the Sharks. But when they're winning, bro, everyone's on the horse and they're on the wagon. They're praising them. Frick, you can walk around the city and get everything for free because they're like, how good is this? But that's the side of sport that people don't understand, bro. It is hard.
I reckon the younger generation now, say someone like Reece and that, I think they understand people's stature within the game within the past, but I think they care more about how they treat them now than what they've actually done.
True.
Is that because when we come through, it was like if he played 250 games, you were the man. We just listened to you. Yep. Now, I think they're a different generation now. They don't care how many games you played. Like, you can be an old head who glorifies the past to shit on the future, or you can be an OG who takes his lessons from the past and teach them. Because I reckon, and just they would respect you more than someone like him.
Yeah,
just my opinion.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Looking at it, man.
Because I don't think they care anymore how many games you played. Yeah, because massages. See you later.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, hard pulling rank on those. Yeah, that's so true, man. Just you saying that, bro. I think about it, right? So, whenever I walk into the club and I go see the boys in that, I'm not demanding their respect. You know what I mean? I'm just like treating it like I'm a fan, bro. You know what I mean? So I'm going in there, what's up, boys? Like, how's it going? Talking about footy and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not going in there going like I'm previous captain. I've capped, fourth highest cap. That's out the window, bro. It doesn't matter to me. At the end of the day, it's cool stats to have, but it doesn't dictate who you are as a person, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what I mean? It was funny because you talk about that and I brought up Gordy, just kind of where my mind went.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the same thing.
Because I look at Reece's all their posts and they're quick to turn and they're happy to speak their mind, which I love, bro. Which is
100%, man, 100%. And that's how I kind of went through my career. It was like towards the back end of my career, I was like, all right, I don't need to impress anyone. I got to defend my players, whether it's gonna blow up in the papers negatively or not. Being true to my values, man. And like Milford used to get slammed all the time, but I'll go and defend him every day of the week, bro. Because that guy, I knew he was genuine as hell, and he would always give his best out there. Sometimes it wasn't to the standards that everyone wanted, or the $1 million pay packet that he was getting paid to, but he's just human being, bro. You know what I mean? So yeah, bro. It's, at the end of the day, man, speaking truthful again comes back to your values. If you're living by it, doesn't matter what anyone else says.
And also just got to let everyone be them, eh?
Let them be them, bro.
I'm throwing out some judgy comments on this podcast, but that's just who they are.
100%, bro. 100%, man. It's a beautiful thing, G.
Do you reckon the Broncos have got a window on their premiership? Because I look at their team now. Reynolds probably a year or two off retiring. Everyone within the team's better. So pay packets, it's just one of those things, and boys are going to start looking after themselves, which they should. Do you think they've got a window on their premiership?
I look at their team, like, I think if the window for a premiership, it's now. You know what I mean? Like, that's
what I think.
The next 2 years.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying that we don't know what's ahead or the youngsters coming through. Is there going to be another Payne Haas or Paddy Carrigan in that? But I think our best chance with the caliber of the players that we got in our roster, man, like, it's the next 2 years. You know what I mean? If it doesn't happen, then like, to say, I know Simon Scanlon, he's our recruiting officer. He's amazing at what he does, but I haven't seen what's coming through. So it's hard for me to say, you know what, the next 10 years is us.
Where does the Broncos development come from? Because I look at, everyone knows Penrith Nursery, Melbourne, they just grab people from anywhere, pull them into the system. Yeah. Like, where do the Broncos players come from?
A lot of country boys, man.
Yeah.
We got a lot of country boys. Cyril Connell, who was the OG in terms of recruitment, he was the one that was, him and Wayne Bennett together were just the masterminds, man.
And they just love country boys?
He loved country boys.
They're just tougher, eh?
They're just tough, bro. they
don't complain.
They don't complain. They get in there. They go hard. They didn't expect any sympathy for them. If they get banged up or they got a cut, they just get up and keep going, bro. You know what I mean? And I think it comes from their nature of their upbringing too.
Makes sense.
Their nature of their upbringing. A lot of them had to travel 3-4 hours to go play footy. Or let alone train, and that was normal for them. Whereas we're training, if we're going to training and we're in traffic, we're blowing up 20 minutes. You know what I mean? So their nature, they develop resilience from a young age, bro, I reckon. And coming from a lot of country boys have farms. their dads, that's all they knew, bro. It's just being tough, getting out there.
And you actually develop like way more like strength being like a farmer. Like you say, like we do weights now, and we'll be 45 minutes in a day, and like, but if they're carrying something around the whole day, you just develop more strength, don't you?
100%, bro. And it just naturally comes, bro.
Yeah.
Like you look at farmers, bro, you don't have to worry how big he is, man. You know he's going to ragdoll you. You challenge him in an arm wrestle, bro, you know he's going to beat
They always got big forearms,
bro,
eh?
huge, man.
Yeah,
huge. They're undercover, bro. They're undercover. But, yeah, predominantly, especially back in the day, a lot of country boys made the lineup of what the Brisbane Broncos are. I look at the club now.
Because that Lockyer aroma, like, bro, that makes sense, eh?
Webkey from Toowoomba and all that stuff, bro. You know what I mean? Like, all these boys, they're all country boys, man, and that's why they were tough as nails, bro. They just they understood hard work. They'd never relied on talent, bro. They were just hard workers, man. And from a coach's point of view, like Wayne epitomized that. You could have all the talent in the world, but hard work will always outwork talent.
Fuck yeah,
you know what I mean. And I think that's the philosophy down at Storm. I think I've seen on social media where Andrew Johns asked Billy Slater, if you weren't coached under Bellamy, would you be the Billy Slater that everyone's seen? He goes, absolutely not. Because his philosophy was hard work will always beat talent.
Scary.
Yeah, bro.
I look at the Broncos side and probably like their backline and probably more so last year is like, bro, they're good looking dudes, bro. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And and the reason why I say this is like, how do you get them to not get caught up in the lights? Like even Ren, he's an old dude and he's a good looking guy, but how do you not get caught up in the lights when you play at Suncorp, when you're all good looking dudes and you all get along pretty well, when you're basically, I wouldn't say like run Brisbane and Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Beautiful women everywhere. How do you not get caught up in that, bro? You just let them go?
No, I think the boys keep a tab on it. The banter comes through, you know what I mean? So like you always get humbled. Whether you walk in, I remember walking in through the doors. If you had a haircut, all the boys are into you. Doesn't matter if it looked good or bad, bro. You know, they'll humble you real quick. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Go to the barber's. Oh, just a 4 on the side so it doesn't look too fade.
Yeah. Like you'll get a fade, bro, and you feel mad.
Yeah.
But you always knew if the boys are coming at you or mocking you and that, like you're doing something right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why I love the banter with my boys, because they'll always humble you. Doesn't matter where you are. And I think that's the culture at our club, bro. Our boys will always never let you get a big head. You know what I mean? They'll bring you down to earth real quick.
Because it's the one club where it would be the hardest to do, bro. You know what I mean? To not get caught up.
100%, man. Well, if you look at social media, right, I think our following across all platforms is over 600K or something.
I'll have a quick look now,
it's
bro.
huge. Like it's massive.
Because it is a cool brand. Like it looks cool. The like colors are cool.
Yeah, 100%. And like we've got the biggest TV ratings. We've always had. Everyone's like, why do you get Friday night games? It's because
541.
541,
Fuck,
right?
Yeah.
And then we've got like all our followings on Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff, right? They all add up. So the exposure from a player's point of view, like you're getting more exposure than every other club, especially those teams in Sydney. You know what I mean? People don't care if you're a footy player down there. You know, you come to Broncos, everyone knows who a Broncos player is.
Yeah.
So, it can get to your head. But I think the culture at our club, you get humbled real quick.
Yeah, because
I mean, because you're never above the team.
Yeah, and it's not like you're the first successful Broncos team ever. You guys have always been successful. You know what I mean? So it's like,
100%.
Get back 100%. In line.
But I think the biggest, Reece Walsh, like his status is been miles above anyone that's ever been in rugby league. There's times where the club have to get his own security for places, you know what I mean? Because he's like the Sonny Bill in our eyes.
Yeah, for sure,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I went on a World Cup tour with the Kiwis with Sonny Bill, bro, I've never ever seen, no matter where we went, whether it was in France, Spain, or England, every time we're at a hotel, there was the crowd hanging outside just to meet Sonny Bill. That's like superstar status, you know what I mean? And I think this is the first time our club's had someone like that status with Reece Walsh come into the game. So the club's had to learn a lot the last 2 years, you know what I mean? Reece didn't ask for it.
Yeah.
But when you get a good looking fella like him tan skin, green eyes, and there's killing it.
And I think his style of football is so attractive to watch. You know what I mean? It's like fun to watch, bro.
It's
the big dives,
bro, 100%.
Larry Boots, it's just good to watch,
out there, bro. It's entertaining, and our sport is an entertainment sport, bro. So what he does on the game is amazing, bro. So for him, I know he's still very young, man. I got to commend his resilience in terms of how he keeps picking himself up. You know what I mean? Every single day, because that can drain your energy systems, bro.
Do you know what's weird, bro? Like, I seen him getting a line break against Newcastle with the Warriors, but like he's played so well at the Broncos. I forgot he started at the Warriors. Like his impact over this 2 years has been so huge. Like, fuck, I forgot he was there for a year, right?
100%, bro. It's funny, right? So when he come as a rookie, fresh out of school to our club, and he was just sort of like training with us and that. When you go to like your Christmas parties and stuff, you get the rookie to be Santa. He was our Santa his first year. Yes. So my kids were getting presents of him dressed up as Santa. And now my daughter absolutely loves him. She's like, oh, Reece Walsh. And I show her a photo. I go, that's Reece Walsh there. That's you as a baby. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool to see him grow into the athlete that he is, but also as a father and as a person, bro. Yeah. It's cool to be a part of that journey, man.
I always tell the story, bro. We were at PT's for New Year's Eve, and Reece rocked up because Normie knows his family pretty well. And I remember, like, say 5 years ago for YKTR, we're like, oh, I want to sponsor some high school kids, so just in case they come through, like, we've been with them from the start. And the first person Normie said was actually Reece. He goes, oh, like, one of my family friends, he's a gun, plays for, like, Narang. Yeah. Like, he'll play for the Broncos and that, good-looking dude.
Yeah.
And I didn't know who he was at the time, and I met him at PT's for New Year's, and we were just having a few beers, and I go, fuck, Normie said you're next up. I go, do you feel like you got it? And he just goes, yeah. And I always remember that, bro. Then fucking he's Reece Walsh now.
That's for me, bro. People can look at it and go, what an arrogant dude.
Nah, no way.
I go, I love that. Confidence, bro. You know what I mean? Manifestation. You know what I mean? He's always had that, bro. And yeah, that's unreal.
And Jordan Ricky was there too. He's like, yeah, no, he just got heaps of confidence, man. I mean, we're a hater, man.
But that's the thing, right? Our best mates are always going to humble us, bro. They're always going to humble us, and that's what I love about banter, bro.
A couple of the good-looking cats there, man.
Oh, 100%, bro. Remember the top 100 that came out?
Yeah.
There was like our top five. The top five, there was 3 Broncos players in there.
Yeah.
It was Herbie won it. Yeah. And there was Ricky and Reece. But then you got Paddy. Yeah. Like, bro, I was just like, yo, that's what's up.
Paddy's just got that country Queensland cowboy swag about him.
But like you see him in person, he's huge.
He's a lot thicker than I thought he'd be. Like, you know when they turn side on?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, no wonder he makes so many yards, because if you shot him up top, he's just still going to move forward.
Yeah, 100%.
It's got like that, bro.
100%. G.
Yeah.
100%. Nah, they're big boys, man. Even Ricky. Yeah. Big body on him, man.
All
Herbie, big body on him.
Is he big too?
Bro, he's huge.
He doesn't look big, eh?
Doesn't look big. And for center, man, like, I think he's 104.
Sheesh.
104 kilos, bro. So, like, all these boys, I'm just like, man, what's in the water? It's like they're just getting taller and taller these days, bro.
Drinking out of the Brisbane River, bro.
Oh, bro, that Brisbane cover right there.
Fucking is dark, eh? Bro, how do you be a good dad?
How do you be a good dad? That's a good question, man.
Because I see the amount of effort you put into your kids, bro, and it's very admirable,
Thank you, bro. It's like, I'm not perfect, man, but I think I've got this, I guess, this quote that my uncle taught me, and he said, the greatest thing that you could ever give your kids is time. I never understood it, because I lived with him for a bit, and he's always been a great dad. He's always been a mentor that I idolized and looked up to. He was my coach when I was younger and stuff. So when he said that to me, I didn't understand it at the time, because I wasn't in a relationship, nor did I have kids. And it wasn't until I actually had my kids that it resonated, bro. And so for me, like, every single day, I'm a very busy man, but I always try and be genuine with the time that I give to my kids, because they're going to remember that. Like, if I'm sitting on my phone and they're trying to have a conversation, the kids are going to resemble, you know what I mean? So I think for me, it's just my upbringing was a big pillar for what it takes to be a parent. what it takes to be a role model and a mentor. So I just try and lead by example. My actions will always speak better than my words to my kids. So if I would say to my kids that you need to eat your greens, am I eating it? If I'm not, then why are they going to eat it? You know what I mean?
Little zinger box in the back.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So, like, I guess for me, that's why I did the Give Me 60 challenge. Everyone would have seen on my social media. I did this challenge to break my bad habits. For anyone that knows me personally, I love fast food, always have. And I started to resonate or think about longevity in life. This ain't going to last long. My body's going to break down. And I didn't want to be that dad that was like, I couldn't play footy or kick the ball around when my kids are 20. You know what I mean? So I jumped on this wave path to create better habits for myself so that my kids can see that exercise is a big pillar in our life. And also health and the diet and the food that we fuel ourselves is a pillar in our life. So, yeah, I guess you got to you got to preach what you do. And so creating good health, creating good exercise is only going to allow for your kids to have better opportunities in their life. The way that you treat people, the way that you speak to people, the way that you treat your partner. You know,
that's a big one, bro? Yeah.
Hard, bro. Like I get very sentimental in terms when I see those sort of things on social media. Like the way that you treat your partner is going to be the standard for your daughter to look for in a man.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're respectful to your partner, if you always treat her with love, that's the standard that your daughter is going to look for in a guy. If you're treating them crap, then your daughter's going to go look for that.
Is it harder to be a parent to a girl and guy, like a girl and boy?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think my daughter gets a lot away, a lot more than my sons.
Yeah.
But in saying that, bro, like I feel like as a dad to two boys, I feel sorry because sometimes I pick up, and my missus will pick up on me too. I'm real hard on my son.
I don't think that's necessarily a
yeah,
bad thing.
I know, but I don't know the borderline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like in footy, he could like people go, oh, he played amazing. I'm like, not really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was tackling with his hands instead of hitting with his shoulders. So I think I'm constantly reminding myself that I was a kid once too, and that I never got everything right.
Yep.
But it tests your patience a lot. But for me, man, if you're being someone that lives to your values, if you're being someone that is being good through your actions on how you lead and you show genuine love, bro, I think that's all you can do as a dad, bro. It doesn't matter on the materialistic things that you buy your kids.
It actually doesn't,
Nah.
Because I listen to you talk, and then it makes me reflect on like my childhood, and like my dad was like sort of always my coach. But I remember he used to come home from work, and if it was a sunny day, like he'll take us to like the lake and go for a swim if it was summer. And like he's just finished a 12-hour shift, and like I come home from work and I've only got a dog, and he wants to go for a walk, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm fucked.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's different when you
bro.
got kids, bro. Yeah, and I remember that so clearly now.
Yeah, man. And there's like, don't get me wrong, like I said, I'm not perfect, bro. There's times where we get home from school and the kids want to go for a workout. Like my daughter is constantly asking me, Dad, can we go for a workout? Man, I've been up since 3 a.m. You know what I mean? By the time it gets to the afternoon, like I'm wrecked.
That's the equivalent of 9 for someone else.
Yeah,
like, so like that
100%,
vibe,
bro.
yeah.
But you know what I mean? That time, you're never gonna get that time back. It happens so quick. Your kids growing up, man, that like when they get to 20, they're not gonna be wanting this time with you. They're not gonna be staying at home with you. So live through the chaos. You know what I mean? Get off the couch and do the things that you don't want to do with your kids, because at the end of the day, you're going to look back and your kids are going to remember it.
For sure.
Yeah, bro. So how to be a good dad? There's no right or wrong answers, bro.
Yep.
It's just remember that the greatest thing that you can give your kids is time. And show them love. Talk about emotions.
Yep.
Especially boys, like fathers to their sons. Let them know that it's okay to cry, because once you do that, they're going to open up to you a lot more. And yeah, just be genuine. Be genuine in life, bro.
It's when you say that emotion part, and I think about like this, and with my dad, and like when I used to cry heaps when I was a kid, like super competitive, youngest kid, brother just give me a hiding for no reason, you know what I mean? But my dad used to always say to me like, if you don't stop crying now, I'll give you a reason to cry. And it's not.
I was the same.
It's not that he'd ever do anything, but like just that saying. Like, and then when I got older, bro, and I'd go through things, I'd just block off straight away, and it would hit me like a lot later. But like I don't remember like crying too much, and as I got older, might have used all my tears as a kid, but I always just remember that. Like, and
and I think that's a big barrier that we've been trying to knock down as men. Like I speak advocately about it. It's just like we weren't taught how to express our emotions. You know what I mean? It came that time when I was a captain for the Broncos and I broke down national TV against the Warriors. Like, I don't know why I was crying, bro, but at the time, man, I was going through so much trauma. I was going through so much emotional eradication, if you can put it that way, on and off the field. Our team was coming dead last. Right, I was struggling with my own personal life, okay, with family and all that stuff. That all I knew was to bottle it up and not speak out. You know what I mean?
And then once that war drops, it drops.
Once that war dropped, yeah, bro. And I was like, I couldn't stop the tears, man. It just hit me. And I wasn't crying because we lost, man. I think it just got to that point where, like a champagne bottle, the cork just popped, bro, and it just came out.
I always say this about rugby league, like it kind of fucks you a little bit because there's not many jobs in the world where you judge weekly, and not only you judge like from fans, from coaches, from players, you have to go home and look yourself in the mirror. So you look at, like, you build these like little walls around you, and like it stops emotion from coming out. So it's like that, right? You know what I mean? And it's good because you got this wall. So any negative feedback that comes from the outside looking in, you're like, oh, I'm sweet. You know what I mean? But then it stops anything from going out. And I guess that's why they call them feelings, because you actually have to feel them for you to start healing,
100%, man.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, glad we're learning it now.
Hey, right.
You don't want to be 16, just go, fuck this.
Hey, well, like the media now, right? We're breaking down those pillars, man. I think our era, we come through the best era in my eyes, right? So we come through the times before social media, but then we had to learn about social media and monetizing social media. Where these kids, they're at school now learning on iPads and computers and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So I think for us, man, like our era, bro, is just so cool to be a part of, man, because we're kicking down those barriers in terms of feelings, in terms of personal branding, in terms of business and all that stuff. Like, it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
to see both sides of the rectum.
Yeah, for sure. I never thought of it.
Nah, bro.
Nah. So how do you replicate a 90s childhood to a kid that's born in the 2010s? Do you just throw him outside and pull the phones off him?
Bro, that's a big one, man. Yeah. That's a big one. Like, my kids now, it's only been 2 weeks now, bro, where like we have no technology in our house, or not in our house, but my kids could easily come home, pick up their iPads after school and just sit on their iPads watching YouTube, playing Fortnite, whatever. But we don't do technology from Monday to Friday now.
Oh yeah,
Monday to Friday.
That's like PlayStation back in the day. Yeah, you can't play PlayStation.
And like, don't get me wrong, I love gaming, bro. I love gaming, and I could come home from work and sit on a game and play Call of Duty for hours on end. But I'm trying to break down those barriers for my kids, because I realize, right, my kids' attention spans are very short when they're on their technology. When I take it away, the tantrums go through the roof. And there's been a lot of studies around that because of YouTube and the colors and all that stuff. It keeps them addicted to watching. And so I've noticed that when we take that technology away from them, it allows them to be innovative and creative in terms of like allowing your kids to be bored, because now they got to figure out, well, what can we do?
To kill the time.
100.
That's a big one, because kids, everything's on demand. The kids are never bored anymore, so they don't have to creatively think.
They don't have to creatively think, bro. Yeah. And so like I forget who it was on social media, but it was like, let your kids be bored.
Yep.
And see what they do. Don't be a fixer for them. See what they do, because I've been watching, man. My kids will pick up, they'll go get a piece of paper, bro, and they'll write cards.
Yep.
And like they'll draw pictures, or they might even go outside and play on the trampoline together. That's connection, bro. You know what I mean? That's creating social awareness.
I remember my mum used to do this, where like when we're bored inside, and she'll like draw, like she'll draw like a shape, and then we had to like build stuff from that shape. And like a lot of people go like, how can you come up with design concepts so quickly? Is because like when I was a kid, I used to always draw, and like just had so much time and boredom, and it literally like go outside, don't come back into the like street light, come on. And some days you're out there on your own, you pick up a stick, and then you turn the tree into a fort. You know what I mean?
Bro.
Yeah,
that was our like outside, bro. That was our playground.
That was heaven, eh?
You know what I mean? That was our playground.
You didn't want to come inside, eh?
No, the only rule we had as kids growing up, man, was like, make sure you're home before the street lights come on, bro. And like I said this to the students at the school that I delivered a workshop to this morning. We never had phones around, or we never had mobile phones, I should say, right? So how do you find out where your mates were? Get on a pushy and you ride to all your mates' houses. When you see all the pushies at someone's house, that's how you knew your mates were there. Yeah, you know what I mean? And like I look back on that upbringing, bro, like it was the greatest upbringing I could have had, bro. You know what I mean? Because we were climbing trees, we were falling off things. They talk about helicopter parents, right? In the world today, man, you got to let kids be kids. Yeah, you want to try and hold them back from not getting injured or hurting themselves or, you know what I mean, trying to hurt someone else. But kids are going to learn how to be kids from making mistakes. Sometimes that mistake could be breaking a toe. Yeah. Breaking an arm.
Get the fluoro cast though, eh?
Yeah, you get the fluoro cast, but it's a learning. Yeah, it's a learning, right?
Yeah, you learn from pain, bro. Yeah. So like if you put your hand in fire and it burns, you're like, oh shit, I'm not going to do that again.
100%. And yes, we're as parents, we're trying to be mentors and we're trying to restrict, but there's a line that you're like, all right, we can let them go this far, but when it's like a huge risk, then we pull them back.
Yeah. Where's the line?
Oh, that's hard, bro. You gotta like adjust and adapt on the spot, man. Yeah. Obviously, when they're close to a cliff, man, where it's like life or death situations, sure, there's no brainer there. But where there's a lesson, like riding a bike, right? Take the training wheels off. You hold the seat till you feel like they can ride on their own. You let go, they might fall. That's all right. Understand pain, sweet. Yeah. We get back up, we go again.
Concrete on the knees. That's one of life's great lessons.
The gravel rash. Yeah. That's how I chipped my tooth, bro. 3 of us thinking on a bike, man. So we couldn't stop on the hill, so I tried to put my foot on the front tire, bro, trying to guide the next man. Think. Yeah. Straight over, landed on my face.
Learn about physics.
Oh, very hard. 100%.
I remember we tried to do, like, we had a scooter and I hit my mate in the, like, shin straight away with a scooter. Fuck, that's one of the great pains, crying straight home.
Right, 100%. Hitting your shin or also stubbing your toe on the corner of your bed or cupboard. Those things hurt, man. Yeah. Hurt. But, it's a lesson that kids need to be kids, bro. But it's cool.
PT brought up a good point the other day, and I go, what does success look like to you? And he heard a billionaire say, he goes, success is when you grow older and your kids want to hang out with you.
That's so true.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, that's cool.
That is so true. You're winning in life if your kids are adults, man, and they want to come around to mum and dad's house.
Because he's like that. He goes, oh, me and my mum got on the piss on Saturday, and I wanted her to come over and hang out with us. And he goes, I want my daughter to do that for me.
Yeah, that's cool.
But Goldie's just going to do her own thing, man.
Yeah. That is so true, bro. I think that's the best way to put it, bro. It's not on how many cars or houses you have, bro. I think it's the quality in life that you create. And if your kids want to come home and catch up with you when you're old, like, bro, that's a beautiful thing, man. You see those trends, man, where it's like started off with 2 people and then the kids come into the shop, right? And it's like, then it turned into 8 people and then their kids come into the shop and it started like 50 people down the track. Love's a beautiful thing, bro. And when you can create a community within your family like that, that is so passionate around being around family, around having your kids growing up, knowing who your grandparents are and being around your grandparents and the values that they taught, that gives me goosebumps.
That is pretty powerful. I was thinking about this at my nana's funeral, like maybe 5-6 years ago, and I think like the power of woman that one person could create. Like, she was like one of 16 children, and then like she had 7 children or 6 children, and I was one of like maybe 40 grandkids. I'm like, bro, when you said that, that's what it reminded me of, bro. It's crazy, eh?
Yeah, 100%, man. It's crazy. That's a pretty cool trend, bro. Well, I think Pizzi hit the nail on the head, man. That's true success right there in my eyes.
One of my mentors was super successful, drives Lambos, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, before we done work with him, I was like, what's the best part about being successful? And he goes, every day I get to go home and serve my family dinner. I don't have to be anywhere.
That's cool.
I was like, and I was sitting there, I was going, what else? Like, because I don't have kids where I can relate to that sort of shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
yeah.
like, I got a dog, you know, but like,
yeah.
I look at this guy who's super successful, got everything he wants in the world, and every day he just wants to go home and find a new recipe that he can serve his family with.
Yo,
I was like, oh, that's cool. Up. Yeah,
that's what's up, bro. And at the end of the day, right, that comes back to your values, man. Family will always be a big value to many people, and it's not just the family that you grew up in; it's the family you create. You know what I mean? And I'll
create's a big word. Yeah. Because there's a lot of people who look back on their family and don't have fond memories too, you know what I mean?
100%, man. 100%, bro. And there's a lot of family values that you don't agree with, right? And sometimes you got to be like, you know what? That's not a value that I uphold. And you got to go against that grain. But if it's for the benefit of your family that you create, man, like at the end of the day, you got a service to provide for that family as a male, for me. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think about that too.
Yeah. And I've got to provide that safe space for my family. You know what I mean? So for me, bro, I love coming home. I love being around my kids, man. Even though it's chaos, it's not always going to be chaos. I love that chaos. And we always say it as parents, man, when your kids have a sleepover, you get excited, right? But then it's like an hour into that excitement, like where it's quiet at home. Yeah. Or like you're at dinner and you're not used to the kids asking you 1,000 questions at dinner. You're like, man, I actually miss it. You know what I mean? Although we want our own time, when we get our own time, we actually miss the chaos. Yeah. So it's a beautiful thing having families and kids and stuff. But again, there's not a time on when you have to have kids. It will come when you're ready. And if you don't want kids, that's fine, bro. There's no right or wrong way to live life.
I heard a cool quote the other day on Instagram, and they said, like, God unlocks a piece in your brain of love that you can only experience through having a kid. And like, I heard that. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, man. Yeah.
Like, as I say this a lot, bro. You know, we talk about unconditional love. What's unconditional love? And pre-kids, you used to think it was just like loving your girlfriend and all that stuff. But man, when a kid comes into the world, bro, and you hear that first cry, you hold them in your hands. It's a feeling nothing can ever replace, bro. Nothing can ever replace. And that's like for me, if something or someone was waking me up at 1 a.m, 2 a.m, screaming down the house, bro, I'll be filthy. But when it's your kids, bro, you jump out of bed, man, and you serve to them whatever they need, bro. You know what I mean? That's what unconditional love is.
Still filthy though?
You might need that triple shot coffee in the morning, bro. Coming to training, I had the worst sleep, man. Little fella kicking me in the face. Yeah. But
I like when some dads come in like at footy and they talk about, and I remember one of the boys coming in one time, he was so angry that he was like screaming into the pillow, just going, ah, and he was like punching the pillow.
100%, bro.
Although you're not selling the dream well, man.
No, 100%, man. And I like, bro, every parent, man, like, it's hard times. Like, no one can ever prepare you for being a dad or being a parent in itself. But it's the greatest job in the world. Like, I know it's not a job, but theoretically it is. Bro, you're serving them for 24/7. You know what I mean? There's no off switch. But it is the most fulfilling thing in your life, bro. When you see them generate or create their own characteristics, become themselves, bro, it's a beautiful thing, G. And the best part is when you see your own kid be kind to someone else, you know what I mean? 100. You know you're doing something right, bro.
Yeah. My brother's got 3 boys, my nephews, and I remember we were out for just having a coffee, and they're very well mannered, and mum and dad and my brother done a really good job with them. And I remember someone coming up to me like, oh, your boys are so well mannered. They weren't my kids. They thought like, your boys are so well mannered. I really respect that. Yeah. And I remember going, I was proud, even though I didn't do anything. I was like, I was proud that they were my nephews on that day.
Bro, fact. It was sick, It's a good thing, eh? Yeah. It's a good thing, man. And that comes back to cultural values, bro. Think it like, so people go to me, man, I don't know how you have 3 kids, right? Luke Camilleri from Aspley Mazda, the car man, that fella's got 7. 7 kids, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
7 kids. And like I say, yeah, 3's hard. Can you imagine having 7 kids, bro?
Do you reckon they just all sort of merge in after 4 or something? Or nah?
Well, Benny Hanna said, well, it gets easier because the older kids help the younger kids and all that stuff. But, bro, you still got to go through those hard times, man. And
see, like you say 7 kids. So I'm in my mind, I'm like, shit, you'd have to prepare like 9 meals for dinner that night. I was like, how the fuck do you even do that?
100%, bro. 100%. And like, Luke's one of my greatest mentors that I have in my circle, bro, because one, he understands people, he understands business, he runs a very successful business up there, but he understands the power of family as well. Like, his kids are amazing, bro. They're so amazing, they're so respectful, they're so polite. That's not easy to do with 7 kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just
7
even
kids.
like the law of averages, eh? Like, there's got to be one Brad in there somewhere.
Yeah, 100%. But at the same time, right, that's a lot of mouths to feed. That's a lot of nappies to change. And you look at the life that he's created, he's very successful, man. Very, very successful. You cannot get to a level like that without having good morals and values, bro. You know what I mean?
Random question. What's your favorite part about Golden Retrievers?
Oh, bro, they're the best family dog in my eyes.
I grew up with a Golden Retriever. Yeah, that's why I love them so much.
Yeah, right. See, like, we never really had pets growing up as kids, because we had too many cousins and that running around. But ever since I met Jem, she was a vet nurse, always been around animals, surrounded by animals. I think we were 6 months in. She got me a Golden Retriever for my birthday, bro. Best thing that happened to me, Oscar.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, bro. Like, it's just like that. I guess you talk about a dog's love and a dog's purpose, man. They're just there for you. You know what I mean? I think there was another thing on social media. I hate bringing that up, but there was a couple that was sitting on this hill with the most amazing sunset or sunrise or what. And everyone's looking out there, but their dog's looking back at them.
Yeah.
Because that's, you know what I mean? And in their eyes, that's the greatest thing in the world. And I think it just, yeah, bro, it's just awesome having that companion around you. But more so, they love kids, man. And they're so placid around kids, bro. You see all our puppies, because the missus breeds Golden Retrievers, chasing Goldens. And you see all the puppies around with my kids. Kids are rough as with them, you know what I mean? But these puppies grow up with that. So when they get into families that are loving and all that stuff, like, it just creates that nature with them, bro. And it's, yeah, Golden Retrievers are epic. Epic. They're just playful.
They're a bit ditzy too, eh?
What do you mean, ditzy?
Like a little bit dumb, eh? Like, dumb but happy.
Yeah, they're very happy. I think every dog's very happy. But yeah, I think, like, they love playtime. They like absolutely love playtime. You pull a ball out with a Golden Retriever, man, they will not take their eyes off it.
I follow this Instagram page, and he's like 2 Golden Retrievers, and there's always a tennis ball in the water, and they're just like,
yeah, they look at you, they look back at the ball, look at you. You know what I mean? And there's that movie called Up, and it's got the Golden Retriever in it.
Oh yeah, Doug, it does too. Yeah,
Doug. And that's like the epitome of what a golden is, bro. Like, you talk about ball, bro, and he goes chase the ball, but then he comes back and he's wagging his tail at you. I just love the nature of what the dog's all about, bro. They are very family friendly. They are very playful. They're great around kids. So having a house full of Golden Retrievers, man, it's pretty cool. It's hard work, bro. Yeah. There's a lot of poos to pick up.
Bro, when I was at your house the other day, I looked over the fence and all the dogs were there, and not one of them barked. They were all just happy.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's funny, man. It's funny, right? I probably shouldn't say this on air, but like, if you walk past my house, sometimes my dogs will have this big bark, right?
Yeah.
But then they'll see you and their tails are just going nuts. So it's like they put this front on.
Yeah.
They're like they're a big guarded dog, but if you see them, man, frickin' hell. They just want pats and attention.
Oh, well, this made me think. I was down at the beach maybe 2-3 months ago, and I met this guy who trains at Legacy, and he's got a Golden Retriever. And I was just talking to. He just come up and said hello. He goes, "I know who you are." Blah blah. I was like, "Oh, hey, like, what do you do?" And he went for a really rough time over Christmas, where his partner had left him, and he said if it wasn't for Legacy, he wouldn't know if he'd still be there.
That's cool, bro.
Yeah, and
that's cool.
And I put the video on. Not talking about it, but I put that photo of the dog on my story, and Jim knew who it was straight away. Yeah. Fuck, so that must be cool to hear, bro.
Bro, that's when you talk about purpose, bro. Like, that's what Legacy was all about and is about, man. It's creating that safe space for our people. And I remember that time, man. It was hard for him, bro.
Yeah.
And the amount of conversations we talk about how the power of exercise, you know what I mean? Like when you're in your darkest times, the last thing you want to do is exercise. But that endorphin hit that it has on your body when you finish it, that feel-good drug that naturally gets produced when you only exercise, man, it does wonders for yourself, bro. So, yeah, bro, that's when you talk about purpose, man, it gives me, it's not about how many members we have. It's not about how much money we make. It's the feeling of validation, the feeling that you create within people's lives. You empower them to be better. That's the kick I get out of it, bro.
Is that what you want your legacy to be?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I want our legacy to be. That's what I want other people's legacy to be, bro, is the power that you give other people, man. It's a beautiful thing. Sometimes we always think about us,
yeah,
right? And like, I want to make the money. I want to have that fast car. But, man, when you can break off from that, bro, and, you know, wish the best upon someone else and go out of your way to help other people, bro, sometimes you can't put a price on that. Yeah. And, you know, I look at post-footy, right? The circle that I have of mates that are very successful, like yourself, in business and life, very successful in different avenues. I've got Aiden and Nick that work, they branched out on themselves, called Hyper Creative. I first met them through esports, and they were looking after the team called Chiefs Esports, and mate, those guys are amazing at what they do in the realm of esports. And now these guys took a step back from the esports stuff and wanted to branch out on themselves and the marketing agencies and all that stuff. And what they're doing in America is amazing, bro. Like, these guys are living in the influencer house, rubbing shoulders with YG, like rubbing shoulders with Ty Dolla $ign, like all these guys that we idolize, right? These are just two boys from Brizzy that seen that had faith in themselves, believed in their purpose, and they've gone out and just winged it and chased their dreams. You know what I mean? Now they're driving McLarens, they're driving Lamborghinis. You know what I mean? Like, bro, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I get to surround myself with these guys that, one, they hire me to go out and produce content for them, and we get to speak to the fans and not be dictated about what we can and can't say. They just give me a clean slate. You know what I mean? And I am very lucky, when I talk about my legacy, to be surrounded by all these successful people that help inspire me to keep going and doing what I'm doing. Give me a free range of or limitations to do what I do, bro. I'm not locked up in a prison cell or a low-level roof. They're like, man, whatever you want to do, go do it. Sick. And we'll support you. You know what I mean? That's cool.
That's nice.
That's cool. But that empowers you to want to do that for others too.
For sure. For
others too. Yeah, bro. So in terms of legacy, man, like what we do in the gym, what we do in our day-to-day, bro, like, it's always going to live on. But it comes back to our 3 values, and I live by that to the day. Great way to wrap up the podcast. Bro, just want to say thanks for jumping on. Really enjoyed this chat. Let's do it again soon. Let's do it, my brother. Thanks, brother. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. Proud of you. Appreciate you. Let's go.